welcome, guys. We're sitting down today with the two-time regional champion.
That's now weird to
Man's
say.
unstoppable. The results over there. Well done, dude, for your
Thank
win
you, thank
over the
you.
weekend. Yeah, it was pretty epic.
It's like the first time I was like, okay, cool, first win, yay. Now it feels like, okay, this is weird now.
This is the norm.
This is the
what
norm.
No, it was
Yeah,
pretty
it
good.
was
I mean, the fact that you won two regionals in a row. I mean, both events were Swiss only. Just shows consistency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, well deserved.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fighty. Both of them were fighty, but
Yeah.
they were fun.
That's what you want. You don't want to steamroll everyone.
Oh yeah. I even got a comment on like one of my friends that actually does. He kind of plays only Yu-Gi-Oh online, but he plays like with the meta decks. And someone posted like all the deck. I think it was Flex Gaming, and they posted all the deck lists, and I shared it. And he commented, "Oh, you must have had no competition." I'm like, does this guy? If he only like South Africa has really good Yu-Gi-Oh players. I'm not gonna underestimate South
I mean,
African
there was
Yu-Gi-Oh
55
players.
guys there, and I mean, like some of our guys have been, doing pretty well in the YC.
Yeah.
More duels and.
Yeah, exactly. Don't underestimate. See, like, it's like sometimes it's your day. Don't just you have to play clean every time, but it's just like don't underestimate South African players.
No, definitely.
Some will surprise you.
Yeah. So how's your experience on the day, like with the event and
I really enjoyed it. AI Fest did a good job. Congratulations to your judging skills and hosting skills.
Well, it wasn't only me. Obviously, Eric was one of them.
Yeah, Eric was doing a good.
But yeah, like the guys were like, I got quite a few compliments about the event, and they said, "No, thank you," whatever. But to be honest, I think AI is just really efficient at running these events.
Yeah.
Just the way that like we handled everything. We had meetings prior. Really, I actually called a few meetings to say, hey, what are we gonna do? But they actually had everything under control. Really.
That's good.
Yeah, it was really well run overall.
Yeah, I was listening to. I was like, apparently they did a live stream. It's on their
Yes.
on their YouTube channel for some of the duels, and I was listening. I was watching the live stream over, and I was like, wow, all I can hear is Eric's voice. Shame, but it sounded like a lot of work. But you guys did a really good job.
It was quite a bit, but I just want to send a shout out to them that they actually did a really good job. It was a lot easier than what it could have been. Hosting almost 60 players.
Yeah, but yeah, for me the day was fun. I mean, I had no easy games. Every opponent I sat across, I was like, oh no, this could either go really good or really bad. We don't know for sure, So it was fun though, and everyone was really nice and friendly, and it was a really welcoming environment over there as usual, as it has been. So yeah, it was really cool.
Cool. So obviously you were playing Sword Souls.
Yes, the Sword Soul tenure.
Yeah. Do you wanna run through your list and then maybe we'll do?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I've got my list here. Are we going off your the Flex Gaming list?
Of course.
Yeah.
We need the branding,
The order. Yeah, the Brandon. There we go. I've got. Yes.
So I just want to say, like, of course, like a lot of the deck it's fairly standard. I mean, you're playing 3 of each 10E.
I mean, to be fair, the 3 of each 10E actually wasn't a big thing before. So in my previous tournament list, I actually only played like 3 Ashuna, 2 Vishuddha, 2 Adara. And it was, that was like how I ratioed it before, especially with Protoss being in the thing and stuff. It was a little bit different to how I'm playing it now. But this time, especially because with Desires going, you want to max out on having your consistency, so you play as many 10Es as you can. That was the idea, at least.
Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, it's the strongest part of, or arguably the strongest part of the deck. in
Yeah.
Scarlet. Yeah, so definitely, why not?
At least with like baiting out a lot of the
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
It's
just allows you
basically
to
your
bait through and stuff. Yeah, and you
either your
were
bait or your backup. Yeah.
cool, and you were playing the Hulk build, hey?
Yes, I played the Hulk build. I
Nice.
realized so I was testing without the Hulk build. I was
Mm.
actually contemplating instead of like the Hulk and Auroradon, I was thinking of going for just playing like a Zeus plus a rank 4.
Mm.
Just for like the token collector, but I thought, the Hulk build can play through the token collector as well, which is fine. And also, you don't get impermed as much. Like, imperm kills this deck, and for some reason, every time I played, there was always an imperm. Even though people only play through a deck, it's for some reason that card lately is glued to people's hands these days. So, that's what I decided to focus on playing around. And my idea was at least you're going to be playing against hand trap deck. What you want to do is be able to bait out the hand traps and then play. You
Definitely.
know. Like a lot of the times where I normal summon Moi, it was just like, please imperm this so I can play, just so you can get rid of a card from their hand, kind of thing.
Cool, cool. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. You played the one, I don't know what it's called, the water Tenyi. How did
Yes,
that
the
go? Yeah.
the one Stana, like there was actually one time where I sided out where I was like, damn it, I shouldn't have. But it's really good mostly because like it's another name in your hand, and usually like a Tenyi plus Adara is the Hulky combo, which is like really really insane. Like at first, Ashuna used to be the best Tenyi, but now it's Adara, and we're starting to see that a lot more. With the Hulky combo, it's kind of like the OCG. OCG love Adara because Denglong is still a thing, and you literally normal summon Moi. You summon Adara and normal summon Moi, and then even if your Moi gets negated, you just go into a Denglong, which is literally what we're doing the same thing, but just with Hulka Fibrax over here. That's why Adara is like literally the best, and you want to see that the most, and that's what well, I guess we'll get into the deck list, and you'll see like what certain choices for
Cool.
certain of the cards were.
Yeah.
So I mean, I did the 3 Ashuna and the 3 Vashuda, and then the 3 Adara, as you see there, and the 1 Stana. Like that's 10 years, so you're most likely to at least see one in your hand every game.
It's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah,
See one,
and then for the sword source stuff, it was pretty standard. 3 long, 2 tire, 3 Moi, 3 Ecclesia, just for like the package. And then for the rest of the monsters, for the hand traps, I just played 3 Ash, 2 Vela.
How's Vela doing? Because I believe like Vela's pretty strong in Sword Soul at the moment because of the level 1 tuner scenario,
Yeah, it's pretty good for the level 1 tuner, but also like the only thing that's scary was I found Prank Kids was like very ripe in that tournament, and Vela didn't do as much to Prank Kids. It's sometimes good, but it wasn't as insane. But against other decks, it was really good. Like if you Vela a Bardiche, it's insane. If you can even if you just summon a Tenyi and then you normal a Vela, you still have combo. That's what was nice about it. I know a lot of people are using like E-Telly Ogre, but I felt like playing the E-Tellys with the Ogre just took up too much space, and it was just way too much. I don't know, I just didn't like that ratio as much. I felt like in those cases you're trying to force the Hulky combo, and in my instance I wasn't trying to force any of the Hulky plays. I was trying to use it as either a bait or a backup. Yeah, so that was at least my logic for it. So I was still playing the hand trap build, to try to slow my opponent down instead. Which Ogre is still a hand trap, but E-Telly is not, So if you open the E-Telly going second, it's like, yeah.
Definitely.
But yes, and then the 1 desk bot, obviously, for
the
Hulky combo. Yeah.
Cool.
And then I played 3 Emergence, and then the 1 Summit. I still believe Summit is insane. There were a number of times where I literally just needed that little extra push for game, and I could search Summit off Chi-Shao and then literally just kill them. And it allows you to summon your boss monsters back, which is insane, and people don't understand how much it actually really helps. So that's pretty cool. And then the 1 Desires and the 1 Called By, because they're at 1. Cool. So Desires has become the Saki 1-off. Pretty much.
I like how everyone's like, oh, it's such a strong card, like you drew the 1-off, but like when it was on 3, No one
Yeah,
was thinking of it as a
no one
worrying
was
farm
thinking.
card.
Now we realize it's like
Now
you
it's
draw
like
one, right?
actually, yeah.
Jeez. You top deck desires, draw two. Your opponent goes like, "Oh my word, this is ridiculous." Yeah, and then the traps is just 3 imperm and 1 blackout.
Cool. Cool.
Reduced from 2 blackout to 1. Because
I
now
guess
what
one
you
is better at the moment. Yeah.
yeah, it's because now, I mean, with the desires being played at 1, you're not gonna draw it as much, and also with you gotta what this deck strength is in the meta is consistency. So you want to play to its strength, which is keeping it as consistent as possible. And even though blackout is pretty good, it's not consistent. It's like it's nice to open it sometimes, but like also going second, you don't want to open it, and you can't always be sure you'll win the die roll, kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool. And then you had some pretty cool stuff happening in your extra deck, eh?
Yeah, the extra deck, yes. I just want to
I
say,
saw that guy win you a game.
yeah, the new guy
is
is good. Yeah, he's really good. It helped me in my 4th round. I'll tell you about that later, but that was a head case. Yeah, so for the extra deck, my level 10s were the Cheng Ying, of course. You play the Cheng Ying. And then you play the Baron, which is staple, and then you play the new boy, the Kishing, which is insane. If you get to burn your opponent for 2/4 in 1 turn, you know how ridiculous that is. Even if the funniest is when your opponent has like almost no life points left, and you sit on it. They've got like 400 left. They can't do anything. Even if they imperm it, you chain to the imperm to banish the imperm, and they still burn and they die. So it's like it's one of those things that's very scary, and it's spot removal. I mean, if you special summon a monster, usually you want to keep that on the field, and even if you don't get if you get its effect off, the banish still can hurt a combo a lot.
It's removing the body. Yeah. And most of the time, I'm guessing you're gonna make it with long anyway.
Yeah.
So you're up to 3-6 damage before they start their turn.
Exactly. And the thing as well is that like the Hulk combo is used to make Baron, so I wasn't too worried about like making the Baron. Yes, sometimes I'll go for the Baron first, but sometimes even like there was one mirror match where I couldn't really do too much, and I wanted to get follow up. So what I did was I used the Ashuna Engrave to summon, then locks you to worms, and then I made that, which actually locked my Sword Soul opponent out of like a lot of stuff, because they couldn't, as soon as they special summoned their token, you paid 1, they took 1/2 and you banished the token, which was sometimes just enough or too much for them, you know, which was really insane. So it was really good. I mean, also the thing why I got it is because skill drain is now at 3. I was scared of Eldritch, you know. that was coming, like Eldritch, the Golden Lord, and the Conquistadors, and it outs that stuff so well, because if they go chain 1 Sanguine, chain 2 Conquistador, you chain the Longyon to banish the Conquistador, so they can't summon it, so they don't get the pop, and then when the Golden Lord is summoned, you banish it.
Yeah.
So it literally, that card alone just kills Eldritch. If they activate skill drain, they pay 1,000. You chain it to banish the skill drain, and they've just paid 2,200 life points for doing nothing. Yeah. It's, you know, it's scary, and it outs, because sometimes the biggest weakness of this deck is floodgates. Like Tikaboo kills it, but it's an out to Tikaboo, which is really nice. So yeah, I stand by it. I stand by it. And then I played the Chao Feng because Chao Feng, and then the Berserker Tenyi because the Berserker Tenyi is just good as well. And then you played the 2 Chi Shaos. You play the 2 Baxia because Baxia is my spread card and I have to. And then you play the 1 Yazi, and then the Hulk combo, Hulk and Aurodon, and then the 2 monks, 1 shaman.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was the extra deck.
Yeah. And then
Side had some spice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided that we
a lot of back row removal.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering what's been coming out lately,
It was quite shocking that at that event there was actually only 1 Lich player, but I honestly thought maybe half the field might be Lich because there was so many people had the deck fire and skill drained on 3. Yeah.
But no one did anything with it. So Yeah, I was prepared. The one lightning storm, the one harpies, the two cyclone, and the red reboots. That was just like I needed, and the pankratops as well. You know, that's all for the back row stuff, and you wanna deal with that because I've played. Obviously, people know I played back row decks before, and harpies, it makes you cry. So you have to be prepared for things like that because you'll be like, ah, it's fine, I'll just prepare for meta, and you'll get blown out by some trap deck that will just kill you so easily. Yeah, and then I played the 3 Lancia.
Yeah.
I stopped playing draw because draw is not doing as much now. Lancia
I feel like it's too
was
late,
insane.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you using it after they added that card, and it's already too late at that
Yeah,
point.
it's already too late by that point. So Lancia doesn't do, I mean, draw doesn't do anything anymore, especially because you don't have these decks that like either I'm gonna go first and you have to draw me, otherwise I win. That like Bird Up and Drytron were like that, and now they both got hit. So we're kind of okay. I mean, yeah, draw does kind of affect PKs, but not as much, It still hits PK, but not as much. You would rather more likely side Cyclone or Red Reboot or something like that rather than a draw.
Yeah, and Lancia is obviously like the best hand trap at the moment.
Yeah, Lancia turns off PKs, turns off Virtual Worlds, turns off the 10 package. Yeah, turns off. It's really, really insane, this format. And then I played 2 anti-spell because in the side, because going first you don't really have anything to side in because your main deck is usually fine for going first, but then there's a lot of power play spells that can just completely wipe your board, and it saved me against like one of my matchups, which is really insane because it ended up going into a grind and they literally couldn't play because of the anti-spell because it slowed them down too much. So it's really, and also I was scared of Sky Strikers because now Imperial Order's gone. People, there's Sky Striker fans everywhere. Every locals has at least 5 Sky Striker fans. So I was scared that was going to be around. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I kept the anti-spell, and then the MVP of the day was the Gamma. The Gamma package, which I sided. Yeah.
Nice. Well, like going second usually.
Yeah, I usually sided. It depends actually. So I usually sided it for going second because going first it did nothing unless they ashed you, which was like almost never. Like usually by the time they ash you, it's too late. But I sometimes sided it in going first if I was playing against like, for example, Fluwanderees, because sometimes they blind shifter you standby phase, and then you just go Gamma summon, and then you go Hulk combo, and you haven't even done anything. You just use a Gamma, which is really, really insane. So it in decks like in people that, if I have a hunch, because some of the players, if you know they're gonna side the Lancia against you, you go Gamma, because a lot of people are shotgunning the Lancia. So that was the idea, at least.
Yeah. Cool. So that's pretty much your deck. How was your matchups on the day?
So my round 1 was against Salamangrate. With Circle coming back to 3, I wasn't surprised. Because it was really good. I was scared. Game 1, he goes full combo and sets 5 pass. I'm like, yes, this is how my day is starting. So I could definitely not play through double Imperm Rage Raw Ash Ogre. But we tried. But we ended up winning that game 2-1. Anti-spell in game 2 literally saved me. That was the game that it saved me. Because he was like playing and he had nothing, and then he top deck a circle and he was like, circle. I was like, no, anti-spell. And I was like, damn. So he had to set it, and he couldn't do much with it, which made it very tough. So yeah, Salad was the round 1. Round 2 was against Prank Kids DPE. Prank Kids, Prank Kids made track in this tournament, this regionals. Like, I've never been so scared of Prank Kids in my life. Yeah. I believe this person came 4th place, the person I played against in round 2. So yeah, congratulations to him as well. And then my round 3, I played against Phantom Knights, but it was combo Phantom Knights. It wasn't the adventure one. It was like it was the Kagamuche, and then he tries to make the Utopia and everything.
Okay, like rank up and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, rank up and everything. So it was really good. It was the Phantom Knights before Adventure came out, like where you send Graph and you summon Seer, and then you make the Link 3, and then you summon Cherubini back. It was that kind of PK. It was really good. So I won that matchup. I think he made top 8. I think the Phantom Knight player made top 8, and then my round 4, which was the most daunting game that gave me adrenaline and sweats and shakes, was against Pure Prank Kids. He was playing Pure with like Parallel Exceed, and it was just the wildest game ever. We got deck checked, so we were like the last people in, and it was one of those games where people were standing around watching. So the pressure, you were the judge there, so you got to watch, and the pressure of the game. That was where the Gamma was MVP, because I managed to resolve Gamma twice in one turn. So it felt good.
Oh yes, I actually remember that.
Yeah, people went wild. They were like, when the first Gamma came down, they were like, okay, he played through it. Second Gamma comes down, and people were like, no freaking way. So it felt good just to be, because I had to play through, I think it was a Toad. He made Toad Dweller Fusion, and then he had Token Collector on top of that, and that was a lot to play through, and it was like really, really terrifying. But like, shout out to him. He came second place actually. And I ended up beating him in round 4, and that was game 3 that happened. So it was wild to watch. And then Long Yuan the Long Yuan Kishing came in at the end to save me, because he goes field spell activate, and Long Yuan banished the field spell to burn, so he can't get the search. I'm like, yeah, thank you. So it showed that like the new synchro did such a good job. And then round 5 was against Ruan. It was Sword Soul Tenyi as well, so it was pretty much like a mirror match. I don't know how similar our deck lists were. I didn't see his deck list, but I think I was the only one who played the new Sword Soul monster.
Yeah. I think so.
Out of everyone, yeah. So I remember game 1, I didn't have too much, but I made the new Sword Soul monster against him, and it really slowed him down enough that he couldn't, play through everything. And then round 6, I want to give a real shout out to Bulela. Like really, he did. He wasn't playing Sword Soul Tenyi. He was playing Tenyi Sword Soul, because he's playing the Link 4, and he was in the finals with me. And honestly, respect to him. It was his first top. Like really, really, really well done to him. Like big shout out. It was a final to be had. So I really good shout out to him. So,
yeah, he played that really, really well. But it also like shows the power of like Tenyi.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to someone like about a week ago or so, and they were like, I don't know, we were talking about like what like cards that become like prior to them becoming meta.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good, but they just not meta yet.
Yeah,
and
they just don't have
like
that.
They were like really, really good. They just couldn't compete with the meta. But like clearly now it's a very different story.
No, it's just I think it's because they can play through so much, but they don't have a base.
Yeah, it's like free summon, and they can use the effect in the same turn, and
so they just needed that baseline to be able to play off of. Like for example, the Sword Soul or the Adventure package, because you see in the OCG they're playing Adventure Tenyi, which is like a big thing. So it's really good. And the Link 4 is also pretty insane, the way it can, like, you literally have a field full of effect monsters, and you have one token, and they can't do anything to you. They can't imperm you, they can't, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It
was a lot of fun to play against, I will admit. It was an interesting matchup. At game 1, he token collectors me immediately. I'm like, well. Because I believe he was playing the Crossout Designators, so he played the token collector for that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, so it was when you go normal summon Moyu game 1 and you're like, I'm fine, token collector. You're like, well, this is gonna be a fun game, and then we both end up passing because neither of us can play. Because he's got Tenyis in his hand and he can't summon, and I can't make tokens, so we just end up like, okay, this is our Mystic Mind game, let's go. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a really good event, I think, overall. Some really competitive guys, some competitive decks. But then
Yeah.
also, like, you can see the Magic like move. Like,
Yeah,
slowly,
I did not expect to face that many Prankids.
Yeah.
Like, I was not expecting that many Prankids.
We were expecting Phantoms, yeah, but like,
Yeah.
it was nuts.
Yeah, I was expecting Eldritch, I was expecting Phantom Knight, I was expecting the Mirror Match, and I was possibly expecting even Dragon Link.
Yeah.
I didn't see any Dragon Link. I thought Dragon Link would be like more prominent
Striker.
because, yeah, or Striker.
Striker.
There was a Striker. So Bulela did face Striker in the semi-finals. So it was either I faced him or I faced Mind Striker. And honestly, I didn't feel like dealing with Mystic Mind Striker on that day. So, yeah, thank you, Bulela, for beating the Striker player. Because Bulela was main decking Cyclones, and I was like, yeah, I watched this game and he cycloned the mine and was able to kill. I'm like, thank God. I don't want to sit against mine for like, a final round. So it was insane, yeah. But yeah, I didn't see Eldritch. I didn't see the decks I was preparing for, but still, I think my extra deck, my side deck was enough that it could play against whatever I faced.
I'd love to see what it's gonna look like for. I mean, obviously we have some OTS championships coming up. Like we're gonna have another regional at some point. I think next season.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see what that's gonna look like. At that point, because it's very different from what we expected initially.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really insane. I also want to send a shout out to like Eric. He was selling the new Kishing to someone, and he hadn't given it to them yet, and I had not gotten the card yet, and I was like, I want to play this today, because it was either I was gonna play that or I was gonna play Herald of the Arclight, which was my backup. But I ended up seeing the card. I was like, let me put it in today, see how it does. So the Kishing was like a last minute decision that I wanted to do. And I luckily got to do it. And then my round 3 opponent was Rowan, the PK player. After our round, because it was break time, he was like, I'm just gonna go make myself happy and buy a booster pack. He bought one booster pack and pulled the new synchro. I'm like, dude, please. So it was like perfect timing. It worked out so well. So, yeah, it was. Yeah, so shout out to Eric for letting me use the card that he had already sold. Sorry, just letting the person know this card he sold is slightly used, but I think he knows that.
It's not NM anymore.
No, it's more expensive now because it won a regional. That's why. So he has to pay Eric more for it. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun.
It was a really good one. Cool, Robert. Thanks for the chat. It's great to get your insight, obviously, on the deck and the events and that kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep it up. I mean, you're on a roll. There's a couple more big events coming up. Hopefully, you can take those in a clean sweep as well.
We'll see. We'll see.
2020 is Robert's year, dude.
Maybe 2022. Let's go. Let's do this. Well, it is 2022 again, so it's still 2020, but just the second one. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, crossing fingers. But thank you so much, Mr. Yash.
No problem, dude. Love chatting to you. So
yeah. Shout out to Flex Gaming SA for giving out the deck lists and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep that up. So hopefully, in the next couple events as well, I'll be sending out deck lists and a few other things. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. All right.
Cool, man. See you.
Thank you. All right. See you around. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you. Check out both the channels. Keep watching this guy's channel because it's good.
Thanks, man.
And Soda Pop sponsor him. All right. Cheers, Mr. Yasha.
Cool.